last year's winners here, Australia. And this, of course, the fastest, most frenetic form of triathlon that there is. Just 300 metres to swim, a 6K bike and a 1,600-metre run. Maya Kingma and Sophie Caldwell, the first two to show in the water for the Netherlands and Great Britain, respectively. A lot of the women and men in this event had performed the day before in the individual races, including Summer Rappaport on the right-hand side there of the United States, who got a silver medal on the Saturday, and she was in a group of 3 that broke away, along with the Netherlands and Great Britain.
So Kingma first out, then Caldwell.
Several of the athletes nearly took a wrong turn out of transition. It was Kingma and Caldwell first away on the run, but only a matter of time before Rappaport hunted them down. Such a stellar runner, the American, and she would hand over to Seth Ryder and give her teammate a decent lead. Johnny Brownlee was next into the water for Great Britain, a top swim from the man who won the individual race 24 hours earlier, and he wasn't about to go easy on the bike either. The New Zealanders, the Americans, and Johnny Brownlee of Great Britain had themselves a very handy 15-second advantage over the chasing pack. And if Brownlee was tired after his exertions a day before, he certainly didn't show it on the run. Quickly gapping the likes of Taylor Reid of New Zealand, with Seth Ryder a little further back in third place. A terrific performance from Brownlee, handing over to 31-year-old India Lee, Van der Kay for New Zealand, and Taylor Knibb for the United States. That was your 1, 2, 3 as the second of the women went into the water. Lee held that advantage over the 300-metre swim, albeit it narrowed a little bit, but she was away alone on the bike on a course that had a really steep uphill section. Van der Kay and Knibb working together were able to reduce the gap and eventually catch the Briton some 2.5 kilometres from home. It was all Lee could do to try and stay with those two as they came into transition. In fact, the Brit did pretty well just to remain in touch. Van der Kay, a terrific transition from her, got away from Knibb, who'd had mechanical issues in the individual race. And India Lee trying to hang tough, and you can see she'd closed the gap considerably on Taylor Knibb. But Van der Kay, a top performance, as it was from Ashley Gentle. The Aussies now in 4th place. Gentle reducing the gap between her country and the leader. But it was still a nice advantage for New Zealand. Hayden Wilde on their final lap, but that would cost the Aussies 10 seconds. Matt Hauser on the changeover with Ashley Gentle was over the line. Just a lack of concentration, so keen was he to get going. That would prove decisive, certainly in terms of the medals. 4 men out the water together. There's going to be a very exciting bike, and the British and the New Zealanders stole a march on the Australians and the Americans, because very quickly Gordon Benson of Great Britain and Hayden Wilde of New Zealand had a little advantage. And of course the Aussie still had that 10-second time penalty to serve. Hauser getting closer to Benson, albeit he almost took the wrong course as well. But the Brit comfortable in second, in the knowledge that one of his opponents had to spend 10 seconds in the penalty box. Meanwhile, Wilde was away and gone. Such a young New Zealand team. That 10 seconds must feel like 10 minutes to Hauser. That mistake on the handover, very, very costly. It allowed Pearson of the States to get ahead of Hauser into the bronze medal position, but no one was going to touch Wilde. A quite brilliant run, a brilliant all-round performance, in fact, from the 21-year-old. And a very respectable second place for Great Britain, who maybe didn't quite have their A-team out. And the USA finishing ahead of the Aussies after that time penalty.
Yeah, it was a really fun seeing New Zealand coming over through the line first. It's just incredible. We've had a few thirds, and taking the top today is just insane.
So congratulations to New Zealand, who've been threatening this win for a while. A very young team. Great Britain in second, the USA third, and battle will be joined again next March, next season in Abu Dhabi.